The Chicago Bears have entered a critical phase of their preseason, and with the opener against the Miami Dolphins now in the books, the front office and coaching staff are making rapid adjustments. Injuries, depth concerns, and underwhelming performances have already forced the team to make roster moves, bringing in fresh faces and preparing to part ways with others. Following the Dolphins matchup, the Bears wasted no time adding reinforcements. Three players were signed to strengthen a secondary hit hard by injuries: safety Mark Perry, cornerback Mike Garner, and cornerback Caleb Hayes. These additions immediately raised eyebrows, not only because they bring new energy to the defensive backfield, but also because of what they signal: someone will have to go. The reality is harsh but unavoidable. For every player signed, a roster spot must be cleared. That means cuts, injured reserve placements, or practice squad assignments. And with six defensive backs currently dealing with injuries, the Bears are trying to find the right balance between covering short-term needs and building a roster that can compete when Week 1 arrives. The question now is, who is at risk? Let's break down several names that insiders and analysts believe could be on the chopping block. Tyler Scott, wide receiver once seen as a developmental piece with upside, Tyler Scott's stock has taken a serious hit. In the preseason opener, he managed just a short 7-yard reception and appeared disengaged on the sideline. What's worse, the depth chart is stacked against him. The Bears receiving core features playmakers like DJ Moore, Romo Duns, Olamide Zakos, and Keenan Allen, plus emerging depth options who offer more versatility and special teams value. Scott's problem isn't just production, it's fit. Several receivers on the roster share his style but bring more consistent execution. Devin DuVernay offers returnability. Maurice Alexander has been making plays in camp. Even practice squad hopefuls are outshining him. Unless Scott has a massive turnaround in the next two preseason games, his time in Chicago may be nearing its end. Jonathan Ford, defensive tackle. Ford joined the Bears last year from the Packers practice squad and had some encouraging flashes. But in this year's preseason debut, his performance left much to be desired. Known for his run-stopping ability, Ford surprisingly graded better as a pass rusher than a run defender against Miami. Not exactly a ringing endorsement for someone built to clog the middle. The defensive tackle room is crowded, and Ford sits behind names like Gervin Dexter, Grady Jarrett, Andrew Billings, and Chris Williams. With Shamar Turner expected to return soon from injury, Ford's window to prove himself is shrinking. The coaching staff will be watching closely in practice this week, but as of now, he's in dangerous territory. The preseason is where opportunities are won and lost. For a handful of Chicago Bears players, every rep in practice and every snap in preseason games is a potential lifeline. The recent signings of Mark Perry, Mike Garner, and Caleb Hayes have already signaled that change is here, and more could be coming before Week 1. Before we dive into the rest of the cut candidate list, here's a quick note for all Bears fans. Before we get into the latest roster news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a Chicago Bears update. We're here every day with the biggest stories, training camp developments, and insider breakdowns, so join the conversation and be part of the Bears community. Trey Flowers, cornerback, once a respected name in the NFL, Flowers appears to be on the decline. While he finished the preseason opener stronger than he started, early reps against better competition exposed a lack of speed and closing ability. The Dolphins targeted him frequently, and while he made a couple of pass breakups, he often trailed receivers by a step. The Bears' cornerback situation is complicated by injuries. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Terrell Smith, and others are currently sidelined, which could temporarily keep Flowers in the mix. But once health improves, the coaching staff may opt for younger, faster options. Flowers' veteran presence is valuable, but in a league built on speed, his diminished quickness is hard to overlook. Doug Kramer, offensive lineman injuries have plagued Kramer's time in Chicago, and 2025 is no different. With Ryan Bates showing durability and versatility at center, Starting in the preseason opener and holding his own, Kramer's path to the roster is narrowing. Without a unique role like the occasional fullback duties he once had, Kramer is limited to center-only duties, and the Bears might prefer a more versatile backup. Adding to the challenge, rookie Luke Newman looked promising before leaving the opener with a concussion. If Newman returns soon and continues to perform, Kramer may find himself a candidate for the practice squad rather than the 53-man roster. The final push for roster spots the preseason isn't just about finding starters, it's about shaping the entire roster. For fringe players, special teams value, positional versatility, and raw playmaking ability often mean the difference between making the team and receiving that dreaded phone call. Richardson, wide receiver Richardson, entered camp with some buzz after a solid start, but his momentum slowed noticeably. Against Miami, he didn't make glaring mistakes, but he also didn't stand out. That's a problem in a crowded receiver room where other fringe players, like rookie Jay Walker, have seized the spotlight. Walker's size and downfield ability give him a unique profile in a group heavy on smaller, slot-type receivers. That distinction could push Richardson out of the running for a roster spot. Still, his reliability could make him a practice squad option if he clears waivers. Bigger picture, the Bears are in a position many teams envy, a deep roster where tough cuts are inevitable. But that depth also means competition is fierce, and one bad game or injury can swing the decision. Tyler Scott's production and fit are under the microscope. Jonathan Ford is battling both depth chart realities and underwhelming tape. Trey Flowers faces the challenge of aging legs in a young man's position. Doug Kramer is fighting health and versatility concerns. Richardson is competing in perhaps the team's most stacked position group. Over the next 2 weeks, practices and preseason games will determine their fate. The Bears coaching staff will be watching every rep, every assignment, and every hustle play. For these 5 players, it's make or break time.